Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. Track 12, Vamp Anthem. Produced by Jasper Harris and KP Beats. All right. 8 minus.
7+, my favorite song on the album.
Wow. I just noticed, you haven't had any 8s. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is as high as it gets for Moulz? 7+?
Yep.
Wow. All right. Well, tell us why.
Okay. Well, this is a complicated one for me, actually, because originally I was basing the intro of the show around this song. And then I realized things were getting a little out of hand. And it needed to just be isolated to the actual song review. So what you're going to hear is the most archival audio ever assembled for one song in the history of this show.
Wow.
Including what we're going to hear from this song at the end of this whole thing. There are 13 songs, perfect for the vampire vibes. And this will be basically an oral history of the vampire in hip-hop.
The captain is checked in again, folks.
So, I reached out to Dart Adams this week, friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to ask, what do you think is the first instance of the vampire in hip-hop? And he gave me a song. And I did some more research. I think he'd be really proud of me if he's hearing this. I found something that even predates what he gave me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So, the song he gave me was from 1998. I found a song from 1996. Now, I believe there could be something before this, even.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know, rap's been around for a long time. So, if you happen to know anything that came before this, I'd love to know. This was, in my extensive research this week, the earliest example I could find. This is Ghetto Vampire by Chino XL.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's how we're kicking off this oral history.
Yes.
You know, I got to say, before I play it, I saw the bad website, genius.com. They were talking about, the song flips German composer Bach's 1704 musical composition, Toccata in Fusion D minor. Genius breaks down the sample in this article. I said, fuck your article. Moulz is here. Okay?
Yeah, we're going to get to
Moulz is
that. Don't worry about that.
All right. Don't worry. Okay, we got horror Moulz, vamp Moulz. We got the real thing right here. Okay? So we're starting with this Chino XL, Ghetto Vampire.
That's right.
Here we go.
I don't know, I just think that's hella exploitive, you're taking these metaphors and just butchering icons in the urban community. I don't know, it's like you sucking them dry. What are you, some kind of a vampire or something? Yeah, that's what you are. What a ghetto vampire, that's you. So where did all this come from? Think back. Try to remember. Think back. Try to remember.
I used to sit at the right hand of God in light and splendor, lavishly spreading love, that's all I remember. As time passes, I catch his miracles. He taught me everything except for to mold man and breathe the breath of life. I tried to just accept he's my savior, but jealousy forced me into sacrilegious behavior. Enraged like I was no threat, I hated God's laughter, waiting for the day the apprentice becomes the master. I'm cursed and damned now to be a creature of the night, unliving yet living off blood, fearer of the light. But I don't give a fuck, right? Because I live forever. I'll see you all come and go and die and burn and watch the world still turn. Evil entity, time is resenting me. Thousands of years later, I must conceal my identity of vampire.
Oh, dude. What in the world? Okay. Should I play more? It seems like it was about to pick up.
I mean, there's a lot going on there, but yeah, I just want to give, a minute and a half each. We don't have to play the full songs, obviously.
That's gotta be Gangrel. Okay.
Oh, that's Chino. That's Chino XL.
Yeah.
But Dart was telling me he thought that this record, Interview with the Vampire, from Rascast was the first from his album Rassassination.
I love it. Rassassination. All right. I'll never give rappers grief for that. As someone, Mel made Amalgamation. You know, I can't say anything about that. So here we go. Interview with a Vampire, apparently featuring God and Satan.
Yes.
It says, all right, here we go.
You want to talk to God? God never sleeps.
Now what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Armageddon.
The armor, leg, on my head. Hand in your direction. The riddle was the answer to the question. Born of the flesh. What is inside my mother's womb? Doomed to return to the tomb. Or was it from the dead I was raised? All too soon to pay on Judgment Day. Is this beginning or the ending? Died sinning, still winning, still grinning, descending, verdict still pending, born pretending. 300 billion men, women, and children. Deja vu, could be I'm dreaming, but we all ask for divine reason while still breathing and until leaving. Who, what, when, where, how? But most of all, why? Do we live just to die?
The book was written way before the apple got bitten. There is no God but me. Mathematically in division, my decision was all of vengeance. I need not mention infinite dimensions, but the human mind's flaw was limited comprehension. So while you try to travel the malls and the stars, the God manifests through the entire universe.
I gotta say, as we play these, I picture the vampires like they all have this like playlist. You know?
Oh yeah, this is like we're going through like the iPod of a vampire right now, basically.
Right. That's money.
So up next, Speakerbox Love Below on Andre 3000's Love Below disc. He did a song with Khalees called Dracula's Wedding. And this one is a somewhat more lighthearted take on the vampire lore than the last two songs.
I'm familiar with this one. Yeah. All right. That the Love Below. Here we go. Dracula's Wedding.
You're all I've ever wanted, but I'm terrified of you. See, my castle may be haunted, but I'm terrified of you. I've cast my spell on millions, but I'm terrified of you. Baby, I do this from the ceiling, but I'm terrified of you. I wait my whole life to bite the right one. Then you come along and that freaks me out, so I'm frightened. Ooh. Dracula's I never ran from no one, but I'm terrified of you. See, my heartbeat is a slow one, but I'm terrified of you. I've been around for ages, but I'm terrified of you. Done my thing across the stage, but yet I'm terrified of you. I wait my whole life to find the right one. Then you come along and that freaks me out, so I'm frightened. Dracula's wedding.
I'm gonna sell you. I see this playlist. Someone that's coming up later on actually flipped this song, this Dracula's Wedding. So it's funny. I'm a big fan of that record.
Oh, it's coming up.
Well, you know, I'm saying a guy that's coming up in the vampire playlist flipped Dracula's Wedding. So yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Up next is War Cloud, who you may remember as Holocaust from the Bobby Digital review.
Oh, brother. Yeah, I remember.
He put out a record on his solo album, his first solo album, called Vampire Kung Fu. So that's what's up next here.
All right, well, what or that's not vampire, though. That's the noise they make, right? All right, anyway, here we go.
War Cloud, alias Alcatraz. Fuck your bitch in the graveyard late night like Pretty Wolf. Then catch him at his pad watching Elvira with Laverne and Shirley. Crack your hip with a Wu-Tang bat. My ancestors spoke the Iroquoian language. That is Cherokee, some spoke in Musco gene. That is Choctaw, you weak niggas Chichaco. Stupid tenderfoot, I got your brain with a hook. Stupid tenderfoot, I got your brain with a hook. Came to kill the champ, they ain't even nobody with you. Heavy blade kiss you, the super patriot century. Son, you move noisily, box office, the gunplay. Old legend of dead horse, dirty woo, vampire. Came to kill the champ, they ain't even
I'm glad we both.
I kind of want to review that album now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, man. I was getting RZA energy from that.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, that's who we first heard him with. It was
he's
RZA
a dirty
on
woo
that album.
vampire.
Yes.
So
At this point, you're like, all right. So what's going on here? Is being a vampire in hip hop ever going to be something that's actually cool, or is it just going to be this?
Well, I think Dracula's Wedding, that was cool.
That song got panned in the reviews for that album, by the way.
We know about them. We know about them.
Jim Jones with the vampire life movement made being a vampire actually something appealing in hip hop, I think. It's like, you know, what kind of Jewels and them did with like Skull Gang and whatnot. It's like, but vamp life is really just the nightlife. It's being out all night.
Nocturnal, right?
Yes. So that's what he kind of took it to mean. You know, they would sometimes use vampire imagery and whatnot, but the music was much less vampiric than everything else we've heard so far. Let's hear Vamp Life. He has multiple mixtapes, Vamp Life. Like, this is the song Vamp Life, but he's got like a million vamp-related things at this point. Jim Jones, Vamp Life.
You float to get through the night. Cause I'm a vampire having fun.
Who's Vamp?
Are you floating? You float to get through the night.
No, I get my money at the nighttime.
Cause I'm a vampire having fun.
Freaks come out at night, baby. I come alive at the nighttime. I come alive at the right time. When the sun goes down and the moon go up, I come alive at the nighttime. 100,000 for the right time. 50,000 make Christ shine. This cash on swipe miles. Live fast to the white line. I'm in that rose coupe. Lean back on rose juice. Few cups of that, get them hoes loose. And my wrist on lights like fondue, so we can take this shit to London. Passport is all stamped up. When I bit that bitch, she jumped in. Told her she's all vamped up. She from uptown, rock high heels. Top down on my fly wheels. I'm sick of my ride ill.
Dubstep vampire?
Dubstep, ASAP, Rocky flow vampire. But I think if you want to trace a lineage to this song, which we'll eventually get to at the end, the one we're reviewing right now, I think the idea of vamping, vamp life, etc., being just like on some, we're up all night, asleep during the day, but the music isn't really that vampiric overall, is where you can probably draw the line from this to where we end up. But up next is Transylvania by Tyler, the Creator, off of the Goblin album.
I was just about to say, he was talking about Take Her to London. If you really vamp life, you gotta take her to Transylvania, Jim.
Yes.
But Tyler knows what's going on, so here we go.
Left Brain, Wolf Haley, Golf Wang, Free Girl, Goddamn, I love women. Daydream about penis being in them. Meet them with a big grin, with a Mac 10 broke katana, and then I skin them. All beige suit made out of white women, with the red lipstick dancing in John Lennon, with the red sweater jeans made out of blue denim. Nigga, catch me in the spot where the sun don't shine. Bitch, don't mind me, shake your hiney. The only motherfucking wolf here to spit venom. You're a bad bitch with a real good kitten, and I got the appetite of them fat black women. Wolf gang and this bitch with a bunch of rats with him, looking like the Holocaust with some green mats with him. I am trying to get Miss Piggy by the motherfucking hairs of her chinny chin chin. What's that? The cock of a black dude, man, cause the starter got the swag of a vacuum. Fuck it, I take her to the back room dungeon, fighting and punching, and now this slut is under the fucking...
I've always liked how the song starts more than the song itself, like that. But once the beat actually drops, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that one just yet. Guess we'll find out in the Goblin review.
I guess so.
I don't have a season for that yet. I don't know.
All right.
But next, here's the only person who's going to appear twice on this oral history. This is Gucci Mane, Vampires from the Jewelry Selection mixtape.
Holiday season.
Team Nocturnal over here. We don't sleep. Too much money to get. Holiday Gucci. Jewelry Selection. What up, Trina?
Do you believe in vampires? I believe in vampires.
Yeah.
Show to stay up all night. Try to build an empire. Play for Ferrari. It's a
We working.
Holiday season. Vampire on stage. Black shades. Vampire. Black fur. Red full roof. Air vampire on stage. Black shades. Vampire. Black fur. Red full. Holiday season, bitch.
Vampires.
Yeah. So Mel, you know this next one.
Yeah, I do. I assume that's why you didn't even put it in the folder, because you know I got it.
I didn't put it in the folder?
No, but I got
Oh, okay.
All right, so we got to say who it is, right? Or do we?
It's Hamilton. It's the boy Hamilton.
It's
Interview
Hamilton.
with the
All right,
Vampire.
we're on cult time. Shout out Julian Dunn. All right, it's your time, baby. Okay.
Shout out the Mandem. Okay. Shout out Spud Mac on the track.
Yeah. This is Interview with the Vampire. Not to be confused with Ras Cass. Interview with the Vampire. Here we go.
Nobody else is doing it. I had to. You know what I'm saying? I am from parts unknown. Y'all don't know what I go through, so please stay your ass at home. When it comes to stepping outside for me, my weapon is my doubt, and I cry for me like, mama, please take me away, at least with murder aside of me, because I believe that I can be the most I can be when I ride for me, and ain't nobody got the pride of me. I am a VAMPIRE. How many people tried to die for me and realize they cannot? High as the pot I smoke when I wanna say goodbye to you tots. Little children are pills and I pop them. That's kind of the problem. I don't wanna be behind my mind, but my mind keeps robbing, kinda like Stockton. Shoulda went in.
Yo, giving my wrist a big cut because I'm a vampire. I want freedom, someone. I am not a dumb bum. I'm sick of this love. I'm giving my wrist a big cut because I'm a vampire. I want freedom, someone. I am not a dumb bum.
You know I had to let it play into that vampire.
Yeah, you need the vampire. If you don't get vampire, it's not working.
We don't get that, then it's like, what's the point? Exactly. Although, I mean, decent freestyle verse. I'm assuming it was freestyle. We know about him. But yeah, that was a good freestyle verse. It was coherent. Before we continue, I just want to say, because this is what I was alluding to, that guy, he flipped something previously on the track list. I'll just play a second of it.
You, all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted, all I ever wanted. I'm terrified of you. I'm terrified of you.
Ain't no beat.
So yeah.
Also, I was gonna say I thought any beat with that tag was a Shalik beat, but I guess not. Once I heard what he did with it,
Yeah.
Shalik wouldn't have done that.
Shalik bringing 88 back. That was Shalik's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that drop?
No, what Charles would say back in 88. That's the
Back in
Jay-Z
88.
tag.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's true. Back in 88, because he did Falling Out of Love, and that starts with that drop. Anyway,
Right.
this is Julian Dunn talk only.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we can move on. Gucci Mane couldn't get enough of vampires. Well, this one's just vampire, no plural.
Right. No clue.
And it's produced by DJ Mustard, another one from Gucci Mane, whatever.
All right, here we go.
Baby girl, I think that you a vampire. I can't even look you in the eye. You rarely see Miss Lady in the daytime. Baby, she's a creature of the night. I met my girlfriend in the graveyard. She could never work a 9 to 5. She closed the curtains and she turned the blinds down. Cause baby girl, a creature of the night. Zone 6 stoner, no dope runner. Big cool walk, 3 squash, 10 turner. My diamonds got insomnia, my bitch is nocturnal. She a sophomore, just start sucking dick, but she's a fast learner. Candy paint on all my jewelry, you can call me Willie Wonka. Mac 11 and my MC on back clipper.
I prefer the singular. I prefer vampire to vampires.
Okay, I think I like vampires better than vampire.
Personally. Okay, well, hey, it's all vamps in the end, you know.
Yep. So Elzai returned with a solo album, I think in 2016. Lead Poison, maybe 2017.
Let's see. This is Lead Poison. Let me see if the year is on here. 2016.
Yes. So in 2016, he dropped this album. And he did a song with Chris Dave and the Drumheads called She Sucks. And it's a bit of a storytelling record.
Well, before we play this, shout out to Heather Brooke. Shout out to Ash Cash. Shout out to Tiana Trump. We talking, she's sucking. He's talking about throat goats. Talking about vampires. All right. All right. Let's play the record.
Late night, slipped in the clip in case I gotta grip the nickel plate tight. She made me catch the freight right off Linwood, in between the Calvert and Glenhood. I text around 10 just to see if she's been good. The last time we kicked it was nothing how I predicted. I sat down with my ticket and thought just how wicked her vibe was. Let me describe, cause it was eerie. She clearly doesn't like Jesus pieces on your jury, because I felt something was forcing my hand to tuck the chain way deep inside of my Ralph Lauren and fuck my brain up. I wasn't right for a week. I still feel creeped out tonight, so to speak. Yet I just got off the stop for a block, and I was in horror shock when I heard the door unlock before I knocked. She was a dime, double XL spread fine. If Liz could kill, she make the headline and it fed mine. I sat down, she poured some red wine. I reached for a cup to sip. Did I drink blood or was I bleeding from my upper lip? I stood up to check my appearance in the mirror. Look behind me, didn't see her, but could totally hear her. She asked me would I like to live forever. I turned around, she was still on the couch, which made it clearer that she either practice witchcraft or she might be. Before I can finish
Okay. That's storytelling.
Yeah.
Gotta pop for that.
That's a favorite. So now we have 2 more recent examples here. The first being from the So Help Me God album by 2 Chainz, I think 2020.
So Help Me God.
2021?
Was that the LeBron one? No, that's
the one after the LeBron one.
Okay, I think So Help Me God might have even been like 2018. I don't know.
No way.
Let's see. So Help Me God, 2 Chainz. Wow. November 13th, 2020.
Yeah, so 2020. Okay. Vampire by 2 Chainz.
All right.
But do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God.
This is
Will you fucking with it? Yeah. Sleep, you fucking with it? My bad. I see you know. Licky on the seat, my dog rest in peace. It's hard for me to sleep like I don't ever sleep. Jealousy gon' cause a death or felony. The babies out here banking bees or they throwing seeds. Leaks can't even get the stain up out the streets. Smiling on the outside but inside bleeding. Hemorrhaging, they just tryna drain my energy. Vampire, up all night like fangs on my teeth. How you wanna go and kill your partner? You ain't got no beef. Been sitting at the table, even when I ain't had no seat. If your lights and water never been cut off, don't judge me. If it ain't no real love, please don't try to hug me. Place no one above me. Underground like Bun B. I can tell you just getting money, your first baby mom was ugly.
And we've almost reached the end because we're gonna actually play Vamp Anthem at the end of this, but this is from a couple weeks ago, actually, this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a recent 2022 example from the new Killer Priest album. This is Vampire Kundalini.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, here we go.
She's Africa's Dracula. There's no queen as black as her. Killed many kings, lead massacres. Her red lips pucker, bloodsucker. She wears a long duster, never eats supper. She howls at the moon, wow, she prowls in the nude. She can see a child in the womb, then hides in the afternoon. Sacred native, naked in the bathroom. Her coffin covered with paintings of ravens and baboons. She's bad news after they call her a black coon. In the morning time, she's a statue. In the evening, she moves. Mona Lisa, the creature from the lagoon. The magician Egyptian. The Philistine is still a queen. She'll take your head like a guillotine. The Kundalini genie is from Killer's team. She wears crosses and eat garlic. Throw salt over your back. It goes right into her porridge. Then she leaves into the forest and leaves you there as carnage. She can see into your conscience. Perceive that you are haunted. We both sleep upside down. We turn into bats. Then fly into the night. Around holy Mount Zion. She transforms into a python. I transform into a man in all white with a hat.
It's one of the best albums of the year, by the way. So if you haven't heard
that.
The new Killer Priest album, he's done a bit of a run right now, I'll say.
Was that a sample? It sounded so familiar.
I'm not familiar with it if it is.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we've actually reached the end of the vampire in hip-hop oral history with Vamp Anthem, the reason I put all this together in the first place.
Well, I hope you enjoyed all of those sound bites.
7 plus.
Okay. All right. And now for Vamp Anthem by Playboi Carti. We'll see. He's up against. We've heard a lot of the stuff he's up against. You know,
Yes.
a lot of vampires. Is this truly the anthem? Let's see.
When them guns outside, little bitch, you better be ready. When them guns outside, little bitch, you better be ready. When the stars align, little bitch, you better be ready. I wanna take my time, little bitch, you know I'm ready. I want it right now, little bitch, you know I'm ready. Go. I flat the same color as cranberry. You come around by my gang, it's Hail Mary. Them niggas not no thugs, they some fairies. I'm playing with them birds like I'm Larry. We pop right by the curb, they can't tell it.
I'm gonna say this. It's not my favorite. Like, I like that Killer Priest song more. I like the Elzai record. I like the Hamilton record. And the Outkast record more. This is probably my 5th favorite, though, out of everything we played.
Okay.
This one triggers a memory in me. At Adventureland on Long Island in Farmingdale, if anyone's ever been there, you know the haunted house. And I remember, like, 5 or 6 years old, my mom took me to Adventureland, and I went in the haunted house, and this is, like, the first thing you hear is that da-na-na, da-na-na.
Right.
But I never heard it sound so digitized before since that ride.
Okay.
So the digitization of that sound on here brought me back to entering the dark ride. It was a ride. It wasn't a walkthrough.
Right. Nice.
So going through the double doors into the darkness and hearing these sounds, scared of everything around me, above me, everything like that. And Mel, I know you feel me here. The scariest thing about this dark ride, you get to a point, there's like a lot of like animatronic things that like pop out and like sounds and lights and all this different stuff. the two scariest moments are when you initially go in there, and you take in the smells and the sounds, and you're in like total darkness. That's scary, and you hear this da-na-na-na-na-na, and you hear the like evil witch lady or whatever on the PA, like, you're trapped in here forever, and that's scary, right?
Yeah.
Then you go through a bunch of stuff that, like, I would say is less scary because it's like animatronics popping out and things like that.
Okay.
Creepy things, kooky things, but nothing that's gonna chill me to my bones. But I remember going into hysterics as things started to get really dark around me. We turned a corner, turned another corner, and all I saw in front of me was darkness and two glowing red eyes in the distance.
Oh.
And what happens is they shoot you with like that air, the compressed, like they like shoot the air at you right before you hit the red eyes, and then it does a sharp left turn out of the double doors and you're out of the ride.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my God, I wish you hadn't said that. Folks, if you don't know, Mel, one of his like phobias, I guess, are just like glowing.
So my mom was like, I was in shambles when I came out of this ride. This is really before horror Moulz truly developed. This is still these were the early things that kind of got into me, you know? And that's what this song evoked in me. And I mean, I love the beat. I think that, you know, between the two vampire songs on here, the song here is less vamp in the lyricism, but heavy vamp in the production. The other vamp song is not vamp at all in the production to me, but very vamp in the lyricism. So in terms of on this album and from this artist, I preferred this approach. You know, leaning less into the vampiric subject matter, but the music doing all the talking for me. And taking me back to that time and place. If one song ends up going up on this album for me, it'll be this one.
Look, glowing red eyes freak Mel the fuck out. It just in the dark, like it has to be like complete abyss. And
yes,
just,
that's what I'm saying. Darkness all around you, and all you see are the glowing red eyes ahead of you.
Oh my God!
Good thing you didn't grow up on that Long Island, because you would have went to that thing, and it probably would have scarred you for life.
It would have ruined me. It would have destroyed me. There was a, you know about like the Halloween Horror Nights thing at
Universal I've been there.
I never got to do that, but for a while, Universal Studios Hollywood, there was like the Universal like monsters. It was like a walkthrough. It was a dark walkthrough.
Oh my God! Listen, Mel, tell your story, but you just unlocked something crazy. Go continue.
Yeah, it's just I've never really talked about this on the show, but I've always it's thankfully kind of subsided because I found that being depressed in life is much scarier. But I was a bit of a scaredy cat, and by a bit I mean a lot. Big fucking scaredy cat growing up. And you know this walkthrough, I ducked. I definitely ducked. And like I remember this walkthrough at Universal Studios, and like I'm fine in the line, but like as we get close to like walking in, because you just see darkness. Like as you inch closer and closer, you're just walking into this. I'm like, and you know, my stomach sinks, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, but like I'm with my dad, I'm with fam. Like,
dude,
you can't
nothing's scarier. You can't show me anything in these walkthroughs that's scarier than just being in total darkness with like creepy sounds. Occurring,
you know. And this walkthrough, I think I eventually, because I went through it maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, but like by the third time I was adult enough. I was still scared, but like I was able to keep my eyes open the whole time. Most of the time I'm like clenching my dad's arm with my eyes on the ground, like just shivering, shaking, just like, please, can we get out? Like, I just remember thinking every time, like, if I make it out of this, like, please, like, can this be over with? Like, I wanted nothing more in life than for that walkthrough to be over.
Dude.
But at the end, there was like, I think it was like Wolfman or something. Like, he was like perched up on a thing, and it was like a silhouette.
Like Wolfman.
Yeah, and it was like, that was the final like scare, and it's like this big like projected light, and it's just like raw, like it's just anyway.
Dude, I was at the Broadway Mall in Hicksville, New York, on Long Island. I must have been like 4th or 5th grade at the time. So I want to say I am 10 years old-ish. 11 years old, maybe. Probably 10. And there's something that I've only been able to find one article about it. There's like no video on it. There's like no documentation or like photos really outside of this one promotional article I was able to find. But it was called the Universal Monsters Chamber of Chills, or maybe the Universal Studios Chamber of Chills. And what it was on site at the mall, like literally in the mall, not like at a off the beaten, like in the fucking mall, right? Mm-hmm. It just said like Universal Chamber of Chills, and it was a walkthrough inside the mall. And I was with Kevin and Chris and their parents, and they're like, do you want to do this? They knew me and Kevin were big into horror stuff, so I was like, yeah, of course. And I remember going into the gift shop and seeing like the Tales from the Crypt Keeper candelabra. Like they had all this cool stuff there. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like, it's going to be fun, you know? And I'm at the age at that point where like, if you put me through the Adventureland cart ride, then I wouldn't have been scared. I would have gotten over it by that point. So I'm like, yeah, let's do Chamber of Chills. This sounds fun. Maybe like still to this day, one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. The first room, we were in a dark room, and there was like a giant, what do you call it? Like, is it like an armoire? Like a giant cabinet kind of thing? Something that would hold, that's big enough though, that would hold like jackets hanging up in it.
I think we have one in the basement, actually.
It was like a big thing. It was like a big wooden, I guess they're called armoires with double doors.
Right.
And they were telling us like someone needs to open it before we start. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on, man. Anyway, I volunteered to just open it. I'm like, fuck it. I opened it, and like the host comes out. The person who's going to be leading us through the thing. I didn't know what was in there. I thought it was going to be way worse. So, again, I'm like, okay, calm down. It's fine. So we go into the first room, and it's like a scene. Each room that we walk into are like different scenes, basically. Like, the last scene, your final scene was...
the Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Yeah.
Ours was The Exorcist with like a girl that actually levitated off the bed. Now, what's interesting is The Exorcist is not a Universal monster film, obviously. It's not even a Universal movie. It's Warner Brothers, I think. So, so is Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's the first room. It's a bathroom. It's like a girl coming out of like the tub, looking in the mirror, and then the strobe lights start hitting, and Freddy like comes out of the mirror. First, it's like a hologram of him, but then a real guy dressed as Freddy comes into the crowd. And I remember grabbing on Kevin's dad for dear life because he was right next to us. And he was getting way too... I didn't like how close they were getting to us. And he put his claws up in our face and stuff. And it scared me because I'm like, yo, this is... I literally like worked myself into a shoot. I'm like, this is real. This is bad. This was a mistake. And for the most part, the other rooms we went into, like we went into Dr. Frankenstein's lab, and he like created the bride and the monster, and they came out. And like once you go through this enough times, you're like, okay, I kind of get the gimmick. But between the strobes and like the blades on Freddy's fingers, which I thought was like a bit of a hazard to have in a crowd, I was freaking the fuck out. And
man.
The Chamber of Chills, you know, I'm like a dark ride and haunted attraction enthusiast, and it kills me that I don't have like, it ran in the 90s, so like, you know, there's no videos on YouTube of walkthroughs. Right. I can't find pictures even of like the signage outside. I just saw an article from like Ohio. They got it at the mall in Ohio too, or something. And like, I was at least able to confirm that this thing it existed and it was actually called Chamber of Chills. But yeah, you just jogged my memory when you were talking about the Universal Monsters attraction. I never got to go to that.
Yeah, it's I'm sure there are walkthroughs on YouTube.
I did Halloween Horror Nights, I think, in 2016. I had a good time. I mean, Not Scary Farm is like my spot, but that was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, Vamp Anthem.
Yeah, Vamp Anthem. So the actual Vamp Anthem. I don't know if you recall this, but when this album first came out, I was on the phone with you because you obviously didn't have like much interest in listening to it,
right?
And I was like, I heard it, and I remember telling you, I was like, yeah, Vamp Anthem. So like the song with Vamp in the title. I remember telling you like, I don't know, like 6+, like it's not Vamp enough, like.
Right.
And you listen to it and you're like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Cause like it has the at the start, but like after
Vamp,
that,
what is it called? King Vamp later on in the track list has the lyrics,
talk,
but not the beat.
Right. But what ended up happening is obviously an 8- for me now. Like a lot of songs on this album, it went up. I found an angle and I'm like, okay, it may not be Vamp enough, but actually, and that's when, because I found a note from 2020 weeks later where I'm like, I got it. It went up to a 7-, then a 7+, now 8-, but I know what this is for me. The wacky scenario is this is the anthem of an inept vampire. Like, they can't do any, like, it's just a vampire. Like, everybody knows this person's a vampire.
The Tales from the Crypt episode with, what is it? Roddy McDowell, Malcolm McDowell, the Reluctant Vampire. Have you seen that one?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's a bit of like a comedic episode because, he's a security guard, night manager or something at a blood bank.
Right.
And he doesn't want to kill people. He'd rather, just try to like siphon the blood that he can get off of his job, essentially. But I think something happens where like he gets caught and he gets fired and then he has to get it the hard way.
Yeah.
Or die, So it's like the
die.
Reluctant Vampire. It's an interesting take on the vampire mythos, I would say.
Well, this and that vampire in my head, I mean, he's down to kill. He's just bad at it. It's like everybody in town knows he's a vampire, but like he's not a threat to anyone. Like no one takes him seriously. Like at night, he pops out from behind the bushes like, ah, and everyone's like, get out of here, fuck out of here. Like he can't like get any blood. Like he sucks at being a vampire.
Even down to him using like, it's classic shit, but the
right, exactly. And everybody's like oh,
the most, God. It's like a trope at this point.
Exactly, yes. And that's what this beat, like when the beat like
almost like like just a regular fish using the Jaws music that
exactly.
Boom.
Exactly.
And, bro,
you're just a freaking guppy. Like
you're like a little guppy. Like what are you doing?
But I'll say this. That was my way in, that amusing thought in my head. But like this song to me slides way harder than that vampire would.
It's a good driving song too. I found like I was whipping the car around to this one. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the vamp of the road right now.
Yes. Okay. It's that car. Things come alive in that car, and this comes on, with advanced outside, little bitch, you better be ready. Okay. Another non sequitur. This is a group chat classic. It's been in heavy rotation as a threat since Christmas 2020. When them stars align, little bitch, you better be ready. Okay. It's just a great, evocative, ominous threat. For some reason, Styles said that sounds like something Eartha Kitt would say to him.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why. I get them stars align, little bitch. You better be ready. But, that always pops me. Of course. There was no way I was getting through this review without calling attention to this. Free all them young niggas, free young Melvin. Yeah. He said me, bro. He said free young Melvin. Every time he says it, I'm like, yes, free me. Okay.
Is he not talking about the Murder on My Mind guy?
I don't know who he's actually talking about, but he's talking about me. All right, on here. This is the male anthem. All right, when he says "Free Young Melvin," I always smile. Gotta love it. And it's just he's flowing. It's aggression. You got some red blood. My flag same color as cranberry. It's not. It's blood. But at the end, he's just Vamp Anthem, Vamp Anthem, Vamp Anthem. Vamp. Vamp. I really love that. That little outro section. But A-. Look, things morph and they change, and this was what was this actually? Let me see. 2020. 6+. I gave it 6+, and then now
is it fair to say Playboi Carti, he's a grower, not a shower?
Yes. Yes, it's fair to say that. But man, Vamp Anthem. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So, shout out to my Vamps. Shout out to Carti. Shout out to the Vampire History in Hip Hop. Shout out to Moulz.
And shout out to Dart Adams for providing me with some information on that oral history as well.
Shout out to Dart. Shout out to, what did you call it? There was the Chamber of Chills?
Yeah, shout out to the Universal Monsters or Universal Studios Chamber of Chills.
Yeah, so
look it up.
All right.
I guess there's like one article about it if you search hard enough.
Right. Okay. Well, guess we can move on. The vampire has been vanquished for now.
Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by raprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.